What up, family? It's your boy Khalil YL coming to you with another hot video. I think it's time to embrace the hookup culture, y'all. I think it's time to embrace it, man. You feel me? Overall, I don't think it's what we wanted. Primarily women who are actually still interested in having a husband, kids, all that kind of stuff. I don't think things worked out the way that they thought they would. Those women, the women which are most women, right? They fell for the banana in the tailpipe. Because in my estimation, I believe that the feminist movement is the biggest wedge in between man and woman, and especially it's one of the components to why the black man and black woman is non-existent as a family unit. But it's a whole bunch of other stuff deep rooted with with black folk. But we're gonna stick to just the feminism thing. So, but of course I'm not gonna just leave that out there and not give you a little history. So let's take you back some, man. Let's take you back. Let's talk about feminism and what the purpose was, and pretty much like what it stemmed from, et cetera, so feminism came in three waves, right? The first wave was about voting, et cetera. The second wave was about coverture, and that's just like ownership of property, et cetera. And the third wave was about being able to be, pastors, in the church, etc. And overall, in the beginning, the movement was about just women's rights, which, I agree, like women should be treated equal. But see, this is the catch though. In the early rhetoric, and the rhetoric is still the same, but especially in the early rhetoric, they made it very clear that they wanted to replace the family unit. They, one of their mission purposes and one of the thought processes is they thought that, and they believe that a woman in a marriage, taking care of the kids, taking care of her husband, etc., being a wife, is slavery. And they believe that the woman gets her validation from work. She should be going to work. Fuck them kids. Fuck the husband. Fuck the betterment of our world. Fuck nature, right? But what ends up happening is the women who didn't sign up for that part of it, they're kind of left out. They're kind of left out here in the dark, right? And then also, I just want to make this point too. Another thing that's very, very important, because I was just talking about how the ideology of feminists removes the gender difference, right? So what that does is it opens the way for transgender, homosexual, and bisexual expression. It opens the way for gender fluidity, right? And it just removes the nature. It removes biology from the whole male, female, etc. experience, right? Which that's pretty serious, right? But I'm quite sure the typical female has no idea that this is what feminism's result would be when everybody would buy in. They didn't realize that our world would be where it is today, with men being able to go into a female bathroom. Like shit, I can decide tomorrow I'm gonna be a girl, and I can just use girl bathrooms, right? And I remember I had quite an issue with it when Barack put this on the bill. When he proposed this, I had quite an issue with it and never thought that would go through. And it's happening, man. That's happening. So what stands out for me personally, all right, so we know what the what the agenda of feminism was in the beginning. In the beginning, I would say in the beginning, grassroots, it had a, I get it. It had a good foundation. It had a constructive foundation, because women were being mistreated back in the day. So I totally agree, and they had no rights. But see, this is okay. So now, this is why it's important to me, and how it affects me and people who look like me. So when the white woman was standing up to her white male, as always, for whatever reason, they grab black people and get them to jump on board. So in this case, it was the black female. And see, and what happened was, and the white woman knew this, because those white women went right back to their husbands. Except for the ones who were, the few and far between, who were really just, not interested in men like that, and they really did want to just destroy this the family structure. But overall, most of the white women went back to their husbands. And see, and while they were getting rights, getting women's rights, feminism, getting women's rights, guess who that affected in a negative way as far as the jobs? Those jobs were taken away from black men. I mean, black men weren't getting hired anyway, but they damn sure wasn't getting hired now, because now what happened was the white women got all those jobs, and even in the even in the 21st century, I seen that. I worked in corporate 14 years. All white women, white males. And they'll let a few black women slip in here and there because, they're no threat. And they can make them do what the fuck they want to do. And you know what? And the thing was, and it's funny because it was quite obvious to me, because just knowing how I was and how I was in corporate. Now, I wasn't, quote unquote, a threat to them. I mean, just because the kind of person I am, because I'm super respectful. But the part that they didn't like was I wasn't for no bullshit. So you couldn't come to me and say what the fuck ever. You know what I'm saying? But I produced, though. I brought in serious money, so, they left me the fuck alone. But they had to. Or I'd have been gone. Well, they didn't have to, but that's the only way I would have been there. But just saying that to say, the feminist movement took jobs away from black men, which, again, you remove that black male, what happens? The community falls. So now you have the black male who can't provide for his family as a whole, right? Can't provide for his family because opportunity isn't there. And on top of that, they're being targeted. And on top of that, their women have been taught to disrespect that male. You understand what I'm saying? So the black male gets it from everywhere, but the problem is, at the end of the day, the most affected is the woman, because guess what? The black woman has no community. The black woman has no man. You understand what I'm saying? And still don't get it. And the reason I say they're affected the most, because they still want that. You know what I'm saying? And I feel so bad for them, because they desperate, man. They're desperate. And it's like I'm watching women who could be good women, could really be good women. I see the good, but it's like they're getting older and they're single. And every woman should be able to, especially because that's what they want. I mean, by nature, they need that. You understand what I'm saying? So every woman should be able to be loved and love and have a family, etc. I mean, I just think it's messed up that, I'm looking at all my women just here, and then like I said, so two of the biggest, now I'm jumping around a little bit, y'all, but it's just a lot of information. I just want to make the point, but it's a lot of information. So two things that made me make this video. Let me just jump to this before I, because I'm rambling. Two reasons that made me make this video. The overwhelming climb of the suicide rate for white men. White men are killing themselves at an alarming rate, man. You feel me? And I get it, man. I really do, man. I get it, because it's like they feel hopeless. It's like I'm just a cog in the game. And I'm talking about, I mean, white men with good jobs, et cetera, et cetera. And they just, once they figure out they just a cog in the game, the system's against them, the women are against them, everything's against them, and they're just a pawn in the game, a tool in the game, then they're just checking out. And it just made me think about, like, black men. The reason I think we're not doing it is because we've been through so much growing up. Like, you understand what I'm saying? Like, we've dealt through so much just to get to where we're at. Like, stuff, like, so pretty much anything that comes our way, we're numb to it, which that's not a good thing either. You know what I'm saying? That's definitely not a good thing. But it is what it is. So the fact that men, white men, to be specific, are taking themselves out, like, fuck this, says a lot. And the fact that, I got women, like, I mean, I'm talking about trying to get at me if I don't respond, which I typically don't. Or if I do, it's kind of dry a little bit, just because I'm just not interested, man. I'm just on another level with that, man. I'm not trying to, I'm just good. Like, if you ain't working with nothing, like, I don't see you. You know what I'm saying? And, like, I'm just good. Like, like, I'll keep that messiness over there. You feel what I'm saying? But I noticed, like, my women, like, they get desperate, like, far as with me. Like, say if I don't respond, they're sending me, like, I'm getting porn videos and shit. I ain't just getting pictures, man. I'm getting porn videos just to get me to respond. Then they messaging me, hey, you watch it yet? Like, nigga, and I'm like, no, not yet. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then I'll go and I'll just kind of skim around on social media, because I'm always trying to learn, and just I want to see the posts, and just the posts that are being posted. It's just really sad, man. And the saddest part is they have no clue what's going on. They don't understand that they went against their nature, but not their fault. Not their fault. They've been bamboozled. You know what I'm saying? Before they can even talk or do anything for themselves, they were taught on who to be and how to act and how to think. So it's not even their fault, man. So that's the saddest part. It's like, it's like, it's not their fault, and they don't know how to get out of it. And especially for the ones that I know are good women. So yeah, man, yeah. So since we've all fell for the banana in the tailpipe, and pretty much that's what this is, man. It's the hookup culture. Ain't no relationships no more. Ain't no marriages no more. Ain't nobody dating no more and all that shit. Ain't nobody doing it, man. Because to do that, rules have to be defined for that to work. You understand what I'm saying? All right, shit. So let's talk solutions, y'all. Let's talk solutions. I make a lot of videos giving my take on things. Try to give you guys facts and unbiased opinion on everything. That's always my goal. So let's talk solutions. If it were me and I were looking for the traditional woman, traditional relationship, and I still wanted to make it work, what I would do, I would find that woman, and we would both have to have the understanding that the way things are isn't right, and she has to be open to figuring it out. And for me, the solution would be, you have to do your research, find out by nature what's the role of the male, what's the role of the woman. And also what I would do is go through both histories of both parties, the man and that woman. So we will both go through our history, because from birth till your current age, you have a lot of shit to unwrap and deal with and remove. You understand what I'm saying? So that's what I would do. I mean, I would get an open-minded person who gets it, who's at least woke, and is open to figuring the shit out. And from there, you guys just, you go into that cocoon. So you're a butterfly now, right? I want you reverse. You know what I'm saying? Back into the cocoon and redo the shit. And then you come out the way you want to come out, based on what you want to do. You feel me? You know what I'm saying? So you go back, you go in, you figure it out, you work that shit out, and you come out of that motherfucking cocoon as the natural man and a natural woman. You feel me? And you can let, the hookup culture do what it do, and you do what you do. I mean, otherwise, man, shit, you need to acquiesce, man, and just start hooking up, man, and doing you like everybody else is. You feel me? It's your boy YL.